Hello everyone, today we're talking about Red Blue Yellow Overused again. While I'm trying to complete the team building video for the Red Blue Yellow Overused guide, which is going to cover the standard teams, I took time to reflect on the reasons why Venusaur is now preferred to Victreebel. Years ago, Leeds used to trade paralysis, so Victreebel emerged as the best tool for punishing Starmie Rhydon teams thanks to Wrap and Razor Leaf. Venusaur and Victreebel are very similar in moveset and stats. Special attack is the same HP, similar speed, move pool is similar, but Victreebel has one more tool, Wrap, which made it choice number one for the best grass type other than Exeggutor. All of a sudden, Venusaur is becoming more popular, which is something that nobody could have envisioned a few years ago. Clearly, this is due to Sword Stance, but Victreebel learns that too. So, we'll go through the reasons why this is happening. First things first, what happened to the Wrap strategy meant for punishing Rhydon? Well, it was replaced. Players are not trading Thunder Wave on turn 1 anymore with their leads, and this is terrible for Victreebel. Since then, Chansey in a first moment, and then Jinx, Jengar have become more popular, and Exeggutor's usage is back to where it should be, very high. So Victreebel's Sleep Powder has become less and less important. Cloyster took that role in targeting Rhydon teams. Cloyster is a way more consistent Pokemon. It has way better matchups against Snorlax and Tauros, Blizzard hits Exeggutor, and it can also score a freeze. Even more, if Cloyster becomes paralyzed, it's still valuable thanks to Rest and Explosion. Explosion will bail Cloyster and Cloyster teams out of bad situations, bad matchups, like against Zapdos and Starmie. Using Wrap in this metagame against fast stuff, you have to set things up for it by paralyzing stuff. However, if you can paralyze Alakazam and or Starmie, Cloyster can win games too. Yes, Clamp has a 75% accuracy, but both Clamp and Wrap can miss. And I think it's actually easier to make progress with Cloyster's Clamp rather than with Victreebel's Wrap. In any case, Wrap is a move with a low reward, and if you miss, you get hit, paralyzed, you fall in Tauros range, an absolute disaster. At this point you have to look for another niche for Victreebel. So we're talking about using Sword Dance instead of Wrap, which is cool. You can deal a lot of damage, beat Chansey, score knockouts. So you land Sleep Powder, follow with Sword Dance. There are spots where you can threaten Razor Leaf against Rhydon or Starmie, or just Sleep Powder, so you use Sword Dance on the switch instead, or maybe you can switch into something that is sleeping. Use Sword Dance, so you get an advantage. Well, Victreebel learns Sword Dance and Stun Spore too. Venusaur doesn't learn Stun Spore. Still, it's taking Victreebel's place. How is that possible? This used to be a debate back then too. Victreebel was considered to be the best, thanks to Wrap, but on the other hand, Venusaur was regarded as the better Sword Dance user. And clearly, in a Sword Dance moveset, there's no room for Stun Spore or Wrap. The point is, this thing is counterintuitive for one very simple motive. Victreebel has a higher attack stat, 308 against 262, or if you prefer, 105 base points versus 82. This means that after Sword Dance, Victreebel has an 18% chance to one-hit KO Chansey, so very little previous damage is needed. Venusaur, on the other hand, deals around 80%, significantly less. This means that the story will be more complex than it looks. So what's the most important factor, the key matchup that makes you want to pick the Sword Dancer with the lower attack stat? That's Tauros and Snorlax. Tauros, one of the most important matchups in the game. Without factoring critical hits or misses, Blizzard plus Hyper Beam has only one chance out of 3 to knock out Venusaur. Against Victreebel, the same combination of moves will score good enough rolls for the knockout roughly 3 times out of 5, 59%. Victreebel leaves Snorlax's Body Slam plus Hyper Beam 18% of the times. Venusaur is always going to. Venusaur's higher defense means it's going to survive Snorlax's self-destruct a little bit more than half of the times. Victreebel stands no chance. With self-destruct becoming more and more popular, this thing has grown into a decisive factor. When you set up, you want to be as unstoppable as you can possibly be. It's not about dealing a lot of damage, it's about being able to tank one more hit. More staying power also means that Venusaur is going to be slightly more valuable in case it becomes paralyzed, so these two matchups are giving Venusaur the edge. Another upside of using Venusaur is being faster than Cloyster. Victreebel and Cloyster are tied at 70 base speed, Venusaur has 80. Higher defense helps against Cloyster's and Exeggutor's explosion. Fresh Venusaur is always going to survive, bar a crit. Victreebel goes down 13% of the times. Even more, Rhydon will not KO Venusaur in 2 hits. Earthquake is a 2-hit KO on Victreebel 60% of the times. Still, the matchups against Snorlax and Tauros are the true reasons for picking Venusaur as your Swords Dancer with Razor Leaf. This doesn't mean that Swords Dance Victreebel is a bad pick. You can still decide to use it and try to cash on Surprise Factor, as your opponent thinks you have Wrap instead. Still, Venusaur's staying power is arguably the best choice. As most of you know, Lush kept Venusaur's name high in Invitational 6, definitely a fond memory for all the Venusaur's lovers all across the globe. You hear people complain all the time, Red Blue Yellow Overused being all about the same paralytic monsters hitting each other. I can't fault them. So this will make them happy for a while. Let me know your thoughts and feel free to make specific requests about specific Pokemon or movesets. Just like, would you rather use Jolteon or Zapdos as your lead and why? Why are players using this or that? I'm going to answer. Thanks for watching and see you soon.